Over the years, wrestling theme music has become an important piece of a superstar's presentation. Putting a song or a piece of music with a character just works so well in giving ring entrances life and making the whole thing seem like a spectacle. Before theme music was introduced, a wrestler would make their way to the ring with only the crowd providing any kind of arena noise. It did feel a little flat, but when music got introduced, not only did it replace that arena noise, but it added a bit more character to the wrestler and, in some cases, a theme song could become synonymous with a wrestler. Examples include the $1 Million Man's theme song that boasted about Ted DiBiase's wealth and how everyone had a price, or Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme. The glass shattering right at the beginning provoked a huge crowd reaction before that famous guitar riff boomed into arenas. Music and wrestling just go hand in hand. One of the most famous theme songs of all time is Real American, a song by Rick Derringer and given to Hulk Hogan. Real American not only ticked all the boxes of what a good theme song should be, but it fit Hogan incredibly well, with the vocals of the song proclaiming that Hulk would fight for the rights of every man. The song transcended wrestling, being used in other sports, film, and even politics. The theme also showed just how important music could be in the presentation of a wrestler. For the rise of Hulkamania, Real American was, in a word, perfect. This video takes a look at the creation of Real American. As a quick note, I won't be able to play the original song here on this video, as the video could very well get taken down due to copyright. I am assuming everyone who clicked this video has heard Real American before, but if not, make sure you listen to the song before and even after the remainder of this video. In 1985, the WWF was all about the rock and wrestling connection. With the rise of MTV during the mid-80s, Vince McMahon was able to strike up a partnership that mixed the world of pro wrestling with the world of music and celebrity. It worked incredibly well, with exclusive wrestling shows airing for a period of time on MTV, while singers and celebrities would show up in the WWF to give the company a little more mainstream credibility. One of these celebrities that the WWF were able to bring over was Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi's boyfriend, David Wolf, was an executive producer in the world of music, and he had the concept of developing an album featuring the stars of the WWF. To create the album, Wolf brought in different music producers to hopefully give the tracks their own individual sound. The two most notable producers brought in here were Jim Steinman, a producer who had gotten massive success when he wrote and produced Meat Loaf's Bat Out of Hell album, and Rick Derringer, who would end up producing most songs featured on the wrestling album, including Real American. Real American was written long before Rick got into the studio to create the wrestling album. He had a writing partner, Bernard Kenny, who would frequently assist Rick in writing songs. Remember Kenny's name, he will come up later. One night in 1984, the pair sat down with the intention of writing the most patriotic song they could. Quote Rick, "We were really proud Americans, and we wanted to express that in the song. So that was the whole objective behind it when we sat down. A few hours later, the song Real American was born. After it was written, we actually played it and it brought us to tears. We knew we had done such a good job and it was destined to be a hit." So Rick already had Real American in his back pocket when he met with Vince McMahon and David Wolf. According to Rick, the wrestling album's tracklist was pretty much finalised, but Vince McMahon heard a demo of Real American in the studio and decided he wanted to put it on the album with no wrestler associated with the song. This could be an accurate recollection of events, as fans will notice that Hulk Hogan already had his own theme song on the album that wasn't Real American. The Hulk Hogan theme on the wrestling album, performed by the WWF All-Stars, was written by Jim Steinman, the same Steinman mentioned that produced Meat Loaf's Bat Out of Hell. This Hogan theme here, the Steinman one, would go on to be used in the WWF cartoon Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Vince McMahon was smart here by getting that extra track on the album. This would mean he would now hold the rights to the song and use it as he pleased. This is exactly what he did, as Real American was first used by the tag team the US Express. The US Express, a team consisting of Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo, came to the ring a few times in 1985 using the Real American theme song, something you can see for yourself on YouTube. When Windham and Rotundo left the WWF, the Real American song was given to Hulk Hogan, and the rest is history. The Hulkster was feuding with the Iron Sheik around this time, so the patriotic and inspiring vocals very much fit into his character at the time. Hulk was going all American, and the music made sense. So let's back up a bit and go back to the recording of the song. Jimmy Brollower was the session drummer hired to work on the wrestling album, and he revealed some big details regarding Rick Derringer's Real American. Jimmy said that Rick didn't even sing the song. Remember Bernard Kenny from earlier, the guy who helped Rick Derringer write Real American? Well, session drummer Jimmy Brollower revealed in an interview that it was actually Kenny who sang the song and went uncredited. Jimmy said, "I'll tell you, man, there's some truths to this one that seem to be hidden. The main thing is that it's not Derringer singing this song, it's an old friend of mine, a guy named Bernard Kenny, who's the co-writer and never got credit. That specific recording that's famous, I can tell you for certain, that's Bernard singing." There's a new version with Rick singing and it's just not it. Usually I wouldn't step out and say this stuff, but Bernard Kenny is one of the great singers who never became famous. Don't get me wrong, Rick's a great singer and a brilliant fucking cat, but Bernard is the unsung hero of this song. You haven't heard that voice anywhere else. Unfortunately, that was a big break for him, and he got shut down in terms of getting credit. One of those old great music biz stories. I remember him having a bit of a bug up his ass about getting sort of screwed out of his credit for this thing. I was curious and I went on a search for this other recording of Real American, and I found this. I will link the video in the description so you guys can make up your own mind. In my opinion, yes, this newer version of Real American, sang by Rick Derringer, sounds quite different in terms of the vocals. The song is purposely rearranged, of course. It's supposed to be a new version of the song, but yeah, in places it does sound like a complete different singer. Check it out yourself and make up your own mind though, it could go either way, and I don't want to discredit or give credit where it shouldn't be given, but this one is up for you to decide. Cyndi Lauper had several cameos in the wrestling album under the name Mona Flambe, and yes, she appears on Real American. She lent her voice for some backing vocals during the track, most notably in the final third of the song, where you can hear a high-pitched voice screaming over the chorus. So yeah, now you know that there's a possibility that Rick Derringer didn't even sing on the song, and Cyndi Lauper definitely does appear on the song. Either way, Real American became one of the most famous and most recognisable theme songs in the world. When Hulk Hogan took the song on as his own, it became part of his character. He was featured in a music video for the track, but the song never was released as a single. Instead, the tracks Grab Them Cakes by the Junkyard Dog, Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy by Hillbilly Jim, and Land of a Thousand Dances by the WWF Superstars were all released, with limited success. The most famous tune to come out of the wrestling album though was Real American, without a doubt. Hulk would continue to use Real American until he found his way to WCW. The WWE owns the rights to the song, so Hogan had Jimmy Hart write him a new track, American Made, which sounded very similar to Real American. When Hulk Hogan went to the dark side and joined the NWO, he began using the Jimi Hendrix classic Voodoo Child. I must admit, watching Hogan WCW matches on the WWE network that have Voodoo Child edited out is so disappointing. But anyway, when Hulk made his way back to the WWE, Real American was used once again for Hulk Hogan, and balance was restored to the world. These days, the song has found its way outside of the wrestling landscape and is used more as a tongue-in-cheek novelty to poke fun at blind patriotism. I don't want to get into all that stuff honestly, but those who are so inclined can see potential political leaders using the song to prove a point or to rally an audience. The song has also found its way into movies and TV productions, again being used as a novelty or for fun. To be fair, Real American is definitely a product of its time. It's got that 80s inspirational rock sound, and the vocals, which may have worked well back then, do sound kinda cheesy by today's standards. Take nothing away from the track though, Real American is still awesome when paired up with the immortal Hulk Hogan. So what does Rick Derringer think of the success of Real American? Well, he is pretty upset of the legacy the song has now. While he admits to being happy with its initial success, he now feels it's much more than just a wrestling theme, and the fact that Real American has this wrestler theme footnote seems to annoy him a little. Quote Rick, "Somewhere in the back of my mind I thought, man, this song should be somehow more legit than just a wrestler's theme song. We wanted to write this fabulous patriotic song for all Americans. We saw it somehow on a different level than a wrestler's theme song, so in some ways I was a little let down. It's became almost a new national anthem in some points of view, and remains one of the most heard and recognised songs that's never been released as a single."